Good night, good night. How you guys been? Hope your day has been well. Good so far. Exhausted. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. I'm sure you a lot are all tired as well. Going to work, going about your business and all that good stuff and great stuff and all of that, right? But nevertheless, guys, I'm here to unpack a story from you guys see me forward and come up now. You guys know that is very important. So I'm gonna drop this content and then in the week I will just catch up to some of the other contents that I promised that I was gonna talk about. But like I said, Tuesday, almost Wednesday, almost the end of the week. Wow, 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 wow. I'm sure you're feeling exhausted, tired like myself, but we're gonna keep on pushing because nevertheless, I have to be out there. But okay, guys, enough about that. Let's unpack the story quickly, and I'm gonna read for the best of my ability. So this story is disturbing for me. This story is troubling for me. I am lost for words. It's gut wrenching. It's an eye opener and all of that. But one thing I could say, guys, I am not surprised. So, all the way in South Africa, people, a white South African farm owner and two employees are facing trial over the alleged murder of two black women. Okay, guys? And it's troubling and disturbing, guys. This story is going through trial right now. We haven't having hasn't been any guilty verdict yet, but I just want to show you the three mastermind that they have charged. Look at people. Look here, all the way in South Africa we gone, and this has raised big raised tension because, as you know, in South Africa they're crying that white farmer genocide. They're killing off the white farmers, right? Or the farm owners. Okay? Because we all know without minorities, most of these farms cannot be operated and operates. And we know that the man who makes all the money don't do that much other than give orders, right? So nevertheless, let's get into this story. Okay, guys? So this story happened a while back and it's in trial right now, and we're hoping to hear a guilty verdict. This story reminds me of a story called Picton, where there was a man here, and he was killing prostitutes, killing all kind of people, and killing them and burying them on his farm and feeding their bodies to pigs. And I'm sure many people who ate pepperoni had some of those bodies to eat. Because how would you know? He was feeding his pigs bodies. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that topic or that story when I try to finish with this one. I'm not staying long with you guys. I'm just unpacking the story and move on with my business, go to bed, because I got to rise early to push out early. Okay, guys? So let's unpack the story. A white South African farm owner and two employees are facing trial over the alleged murder of two black women who prosecutors say were shot dead for trespassing last August and their bodies fed to pigs. Good night. Stoking fury in a nation already reeling for racial tensions. The women were said to have been killed by Zachariah Olivier, 60, and his workers, Adrian DeWitt, 19, and 40-year-old foreign national William Masoro. Okay? The men appeared at the Limpo Polkawana High Court on Monday. The Northern Limpopo Province original spokesperson for the National Prosecutor Authority of South Africa, NPA, told CNN, all right, the trio are facing 2 counts of murder, attempted murder, 3 counts of defeating the ends of justice, and the possessions of firearms and ammunition, and the NPA said in an earlier statement. Mosoro, described by police as an illegal immigrant, was additionally charged with contravening sections of Illegal Immigrant Act, a police statement said. Okay? They were not asked to enter a plea before the hearing was shifted to Thursday. NPA spokesperson in Limpopo, Mashuda, said the men were arrested after police investigation led to the discovery of the decomposed bodies of the woman in a pigsty on a farm in Sebayang, outside Mangweng, on August 20th, 2024. The police statement said at the time. The investigation began when a 45-year-old South African woman went missing after visiting the farm on the 17th of August 2024, accompanied by a 35-year-old foreign national woman. Police said both women sustained gunshot wounds and 47-year-old foreign national man who was with them escaped but was also shot and hospitalized. Reminds me of that story where a little boy and his mom went on the farm to get some stuff and they were pinned to the wall with a tractor. I believe I dropped that story on my page already. So these white farmers, they claim, been doing a lot, and the white farmers or owners been crying genocide. So there's been a lot been going on in South Africa lately. Okay. The survivor told reporters that one of the murdered women was his wife and the other woman was their neighbor. They had entered the farm to collect expired and abandoned dairy products, he said. Oh no. Many South Africans outraged by the killings have called for justice for the victims. Similar murders have been recorded in South Africa in recent years. In Mpumalanga, in the country's east, four men, including 24-year-old farm manager, are facing charges of murder and kidnapping for allegedly killing and burning the bodies of the three people accused of stealing sheep last August. The NPA said, okay, 1 second. In 2019, a South African high court handed down lengthy prison sentence to two white farmers for throwing a 16-year-old teenager out of a moving truck. Like I told you guys, there's been lots of violence in Colonai, in the Northwest Province, for allegedly stealing sunflowers. The men were, however, acquitted 2 years later by a higher court, which overturned their sentencing, citing lack of evidence. Okay? Violent crime is rift in Southern African nation of just over 60 million people, where nearly 20,000 murders were recorded between April and December last year, according to the police data. For murders involving both white and black South Africans make up a small part, about 0.2% of those killings, even though white nationalist groups make widely disputed claims of genocide against white farmers, like I said and like I uttered earlier. Okay, guys? All right. So that was the story. I'm not sure if you guys heard about the story before, but that's the story, guys. Right now, where the white farmer shot three persons, wounded one, killed two, and fed them to their pigs. Okay? If you haven't heard the story, you heard the story over here first. Tired like a dog, but I still had to come and unpack the story to you guys and say, hey guys, have you guys heard the story in regards of the farmers or the so-called farm? 1 second.
where a farmer and two of his employees are in court today accused of shooting dead two black women and feeding their bodies to pigs. The killings took place when the women trespassed on a farm in the northern province of Limpopo in August of last year. Well, the killings caused widespread outrage in South Africa and exacerbated racial tensions there. One of the three suspects has now become a state witness, and that means he will testify against his co-accused in exchange for having the charges against him
So those are
dropped.
three suspects.
Well, our correspondent Nomsa Maseko is outside the court.
Could you imagine,
In
guys?
Polokwane.
The incident actually took place in August last year when two women, Maria Makhatu and Kudzai Ndlovu, and one more victim, actually went to a pig farm where there were dairy products that had just been delivered. Those are soon to expire or expired dairy products that were brought for the pigs and on the farm, and the three.
So imagine that they were going to use the expired milk to feed the pig. That's why you tell you, say, yo, it's not good to eat these things, you know. You have to know where your meat and stuff is coming from. Because here, this is a farmer buying expired milk to feed the pigs. And then there you go, going to end up eating those pigs. Not only that, we all know that some of these expired milk products make cheese and all of those things. That's why we all say lactose, gluten. Oh, Father God, I pray, oh. But nevertheless, let's continue.
Victims then actually went into the farm, and that's where they met their untimely death. They were allegedly shot and killed by the farm owner, and then thrown in the pig enclosure in an apparent effort to have evidence of this killing.
You could tell that, you could look at his face and see that he has a problem. Look at him.
And also, just talk us through then, as I mentioned in the introduction, the wider significance of this case. It's being watched across South Africa, I know, but it has inflamed racial tensions.
Of course. It's not the first.
Absolutely. It has inflamed racial tensions in a country where a small number of white farmers claim to be persecuted by the black majority. We saw some of them, less than 50, going to the U.S. as saying that they had been persecuted and they no longer are safe in South Africa. But in this case, we are talking about a white farmer who allegedly murdered two black women, and that is why there are so much, there's so much racial tensions when it comes to the story, and also it's a story that has attracted a lot of attention, not just in the media, but also political parties here in South Africa and civil rights organizations have also been up in arms, because of such cases. And this is not the first case of its kind where a white farmer has been accused of killing black people.
Nomsa Maseko reporting there.
So people, that is the story. I'm going to mute you guys for a second, but that's the story right there, guys. So have 1 second.
Now testify against Oliver and Zimbabwean national William Musora. They allegedly fed the remains of Makhatu and...
So first they claim that nothing never happened, and one of these three out of the three are going to flip and testify against the farm owner. So have you heard this story? I'm exhausted, stick a fork in me, I am done. But I had to come unpack the story and leave the other ones that I claimed. I told you guys that I was going to come and unpack. So have you heard the story before? That a farm owner in South Africa shot 3 people taking expired milk that they're going to feed to pigs. And turn around and feed the pigs two of those black women that was shot allegedly. So if a farmer can feed the pig expired milk, then what would they feed those pigs? So do you know where your meat is coming from? Because henceforth, if nobody did realize that these people were missing, if nobody blew the whistle, then therefore those pigs would have harvest. I'm just saying, yeah, sold to the market and people will be eating those pigs, not knowing that the pigs ate those two black women. Say what now? All the way in South Africa, where a white farm owner and his two employees charged for shooting 3 black folks that tried to take expired milk off the farm that was to feed the pigs. When they shot those 3 of them, 2 died. They never even bothered to call the police and said, hey, police, thief, they were trying to steal my milk. Nope. They take up those 2 bodies and fed them to the pigs. When the police did an investigation, they found decomposed bodies in the pigsty. Guys, so I had to come out and shout. Let's continue.
Drove to pigs on the farm. The accused have been in custody since their arrest in August last year. The vet will have the charges against him dropped as he has turned state witness.
I confirm that accused number 2 is now a state witness in terms of section 204. We have been provided by an undertaking from the state that the charges would be withdrawn against accused number 2 on the day of his test.
How can the charges be withdrawn? Yo, who paid this prosecutor, man? So you see, even in a dominant black country, you withdraw murder of 2 black women and attempted murder on the 3rd because the other one ended up being hospitalized. And because he's a state witness, you withdraw the murder case after 2 black women was murdered and fed to pigs? Say what now, guys? So have you heard the story? Let's unpack. One turned state witness.
Naturally, so my mandate would then be terminated and I would remain as a watch brief for accused number 2.
The defense lawyer for accused number 1, Olifir, told the court that he had challenges consulting with his client who's been in custody.
We are extensively struggling to consult with accused number 1 in the correctional services. We have not been able to consult with him without interfering or without some form of attempts at someone, as we as legal practitioners, whenever we go into the correctional services, we're either threatened, we're intimidated. It's a massive issue. So it's my instruction to place that on the record.
The trial has been adjourned to Thursday. Randanera Lipaso, ACBC News.
So this trial has been adjourned until Thursday. Thursday, we're gonna pick up the pieces and we're gonna be on the ground on this topic or this content. You know, we're not leaving the content like we never left the hockey trial. Okay, guys? This is sick. This is disturbing. This is satanic. This is more than hate. This is just heinous, people. All the way to South Africa, we're gone. I couldn't leave this story. This happened in August 2024, but these people are on trial now. What is the problem, you all? One second. A white South African farm owner caught 3 black folks on the farm. They were trying to take, they claim, expired milk that was on the farm to feed the pigs. So basically, you could call that stealing, I guess, because they didn't ask for it. Because if they did ask for it, then I'm assuming he wouldn't shoot them dead, right? So he shot them dead. 2 of them dead, 2 black women, and 1 escaped. Attempted murder for stealing or for taking expired milk that was going to be fed to the pigs. So if you are a farmer and you're feeding expired expired milk to pigs, then you will feed those bodies to the pigs. So the question I asked when I asked to beg, how many more bodies that man been feeding the pigs? And there's also a story like that called the Pigton, where the man was killing off people, girls, women, many thousand, and feed them to the pigs and bury them on their farm. And then we could get to that story. They recently killed him in jail, not in prison, not too long. And a lot of these women were indigenous women. And we could also go back and even backtrack on that story. So have you heard about this story? This story that I'm talking about, like right here, right now, where a white farmer and his employees shot 2 black women dead, injured 1, hospitalized for a while, trio, 1 right now turned crown witness. The murder case have dropped against him. What an insult to the black nation and the black race, because this is South Africa, dominant black. And when he shot those 2 black women for going on the farm, trespassing basically. So let's sum it up like the black community, stealing basically. Because if you're trespassing, okay. And then if you're going to go get the expired milk without permission, okay, call it stealing. Borrowing teeth and 5-finger discount. Stealing. Right? They end up met their demise. Shot them dead. Fed them to the pigs. What were they taking off the farm? What were they passing for? Expired milk that was being fed or was going to be fed to the pigs. So the question I beg to ask, do you know where your pork is coming from? Just asking. Just asking you all. Do you guys know where your pork is coming from?
Now, where a
1
farmer
second.
and 2
Do you guys know where your pork is coming from? There was a story like that, like I said, back in the days where Pigton, okay, was killing women, and a couple of time people, well, there was a detective was keep on going on the street and realized that many of the women were being disappeared. And when he brought it to his higher heads, nobody cared, because most of these people were on addicts, crackheads, and the list go on. Okay, nobody's of society, they claim. A lot of them were indigenous people. Okay, and he basically killed them and fed them to the pigs and buried them on the farm. Many shoes that they found on that farm, and all of these things. All right. So if you never know, now you know. All right, people. So let's unpack the story again. The trial is up and running now.
Welcome
1
to
second.
Luxury.
Where a white farm owner and 2 of his employees are on trial over the alleged murder of 2 black women in August last year. The 2 women were allegedly shot dead while looking for food on a farm in South Africa's northern Limpopo province. The women were reportedly looking for
Back it
Africa's
up.
northern Limpopo.
Those are the 2 victims. Those are the 2 victims. They were looking for food. You guys know that there's drought in South Africa. You guys know there's lots of black people in South Africa that they claim can't find food. But some people say she found braids do. Some people say that they're looking nice and clean. But no matter how black people sometimes is in poverty, sometimes they're very clean. I'm not sure. So they claim that these 2 women and another person that they are the farmers, these 3, 1, 2, and the white farm owner. He's the owner. These are the 2 employees. This one here in the middle is illegal, they claim. So he's even illegal working on this farm and helping, killing, and feeding to the pigs. These are the 2 victims that they fed to the pigs. What were they taking off the farm? What were they trespassing on the farm for? expired milk that was going to be fed to the pigs. So instead of the milk fed to the pigs, they end up being fed to the pigs by eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Dumber, dumb, dumber, and dumbest. Curly, Murly, and Mo. Seriously. Dumb and dumber and dumbest. To be honest. So now the trial is up and down, up and running, people. The trial resumed this Thursday. I'm going to be coming on my shift change starting Thursday. But don't worry, I'll keep it going. I keep it packing. Because we're going to stay on this trial and this case like how we stayed on the hockey case and many other cases that I come and say, guys, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? So if you didn't hear about this case, where's your blackness? And if you never heard about this, what you been watching? Mix up, huh? Mix up, huh? There's good stories out here, guys. It's troubling. It's disturbing. But we're still going to talk about it. Because how dare thee, in a dominant black country, illegal in the middle in a dominant black country, this black man that don't know his stand to protect his black sisters, help this man shut them for milk, expired milk, and feed them to pigs. Am I talking too much? Let's unpack.
Province. The women were reportedly looking for soon-to-expire dairy products. And what happened next is the most bizarre and horrifying part of this case. After being killed, the bodies of the two black women were allegedly fed to pigs to clear the evidence. The three men also face charges of attempted murder for shooting at the husband of one of the women who was present at the farm at the time of the killing. Other charges include possession of an unlicensed firearm and obstructing justice for allegedly dumping the bodies in the pig enclosure in an attempt to conceal evidence. This case has sparked outrage across the country. It has been more than 3 decades that South Africa ended the racist system of apartheid. That's such.
Remember apartheid and all of that, you know. Remember say everything they go and test is in Africa. AIDS, medication, Africa. This, that till they start to test most of those animals in the wild. Like monkeys. Remember? Remember? When they used to test medication, if it works, it used to be back in the days on prisoners. Do I need to school you guys? I am too tired. I'm exhausted, guys, but I just came to unpack the story because it's disturbing and troubling. And there's many more things I could have come and talk about, like mix up. And I said, nah, bruh, I gotta come and unpack the story because you guys know over here I always have some serious content that's happening and we're talking about real life issues. See, my phone is all dead. Give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Let me get my charger because right now, give me a second, okay? 1 second. Sorry, guys, I had to get my charger, man. Like, stick a fork in me, I'm exhausted, but I still had to come and tell you guys a story because I won't be around in the morning to give you guys a story, yeah? And sometimes you have a story in your brain, so you just say, okay, let you just come and unpack the story quick and fast, all right? So remember, there's been apartheid and all of that in Africa, okay? Remember, you have some part of Africa. Remember, Africa's supposed to be, remember, Africa is a big country, but many different continents, right? And remember, the end of the day, when they're showing Africa more time on the TV, they're showing some part of Africa that, you know, it's not every part of Africa looks like that. Most of the time, they show some black children with flies all over them and all of these kind of things that they claim that's happening in Africa. But when you hide part of, in some parts of Africa, it's beautiful and it's nice And it's like many other countries where you have the bad part, the good part, the poor part, and the rich part, right? But most of the time when they're showing and they want you to donate to some of these fraudulent, allegedly donation schemes, they come and show all of these black kids with flies and all of these and saying that they're hungry. These kids where all their ribs are showing and all of these things and saying they're hungry. And sometimes those are old time pictures from the old time, the same pictures that they keep on repeating. Right? So you have to be even mindful where your money is even going. But nevertheless, people, let's unpack, okay? I'm not going to show you too much of the pictures because I don't want to get a copyright strike, yeah? Go and listen.
Racial tensions remain high in rural areas. In South Africa, white minority hold most private farmland, while most farm workers are black and poorly paid.
You hear that?
This continues to fuel resentment among the black population, while many white...
So the white farmers are crying genocide, that they're killing all of them. So did you hear? In a dominant black country, majority of the people who own the farms are white folks. Make that make sense for me. And did you hear? Majority of the workers are black. And did you hear how poorly that they're paid? Did you hear? Let's continue.
Farmers complain of high crime rates, though South Africa has one of the highest homicide rates in the world, but whites do not make up a disproportionate number of victims. Now, South Africa does not release crime figures based on race, but the latest figures reveal that nearly 7,000 people were murdered in the country between October and December of 2024. Of these, 12 were killed on farm attacks, 1 was a farmer, while 5 were farm dwellers, and 4 were employees who are likely to have been black.
See?
Now, certainly these numbers are not big enough to be labeled as a white.
So that's the problem, right, with what's going on right now, guys. That's the problem that's going on right now. Even in Nigeria right now, there's been so many murders from the other day. It's off the chart. But nobody comes and highlight those things because a lot of times people just talk about Jamaica, artists, this, that. Just one nonsense over and over when you go on the net. So sometimes, it's hard for you to push out these kind of stories because nobody don't really penny these kind of stories. But these stories are out here like right now, happening right now. How dare you shoot and kill someone over expired milk? Expired milk may be what you got even for free. Expired milk may be what you pay for little than nothing. So make that make sense for me. The other time again, there was a next black man pushed out of a truck for stealing sunflower seeds, they claim. Now you tell me, look at sunflower seeds. The other day again, there was a mother and little boy went on a farm. The farmer ended up plowing into them with the tractor, pinning the boy and his mother in the wall. I dropped that story already. It's on my content. So when these people go on the farm to take food, these people don't care. They're shooting and killing them. Is it right to go out there and steal? Hell no, because I don't believe in stealing. But sometimes people, that's the only way people eat. I guess. I'm not sure. Okay? So that's kind of troubling and disturbing for me. All right, guys? So I had to come and unpack that story quick and fast so you guys could know what's going on like right now. All right? Okay. What else? Now, from there, I want to bring up a story that I spoke about, the Picton story, that this man was doing something similar, catching women and feeding them to their pigs. Okay, so that he was a serial killer. So there's a similar story to this, and we want to get into it for a little bit. Okay. So let me see which one. I just want an easy part.
IXL is helping
1 second.
15
So this is the story. Listen.
I'm Professor David Wilson. As a criminologist, I'm often asked, what's it like to interview a serial killer?
This is a tape-recorded interview. Date is 11/17/84.
In this new series, I'm going to take you on a journey into the dark heart of the police interrogation room. Using cutting-edge lip-sync technology, we'll bring to life the actual
Okay,
tape.
so listen to the gruesome the details of
Good
this
evening. There are
man.
growing calls tonight for a public inquiry into the Robert Pickton case as more details emerge.
Listen.
Now that the remaining 20 murder charges against him have been set aside. Most of the publication bans in the Pickton case have been lifted, and we are now hearing evidence that the jury at his murder trial did not. The release of these new and shocking details is prompting some strong reactions from the families of the women that Pickton murdered, including here on Vancouver Island, and more calls for an inquiry. Shachi Curl has our top story and the graphic details.
These are among the thousands of documents collected during the course of the Robert Pickton trial. They contain information that until now could not be reported. Pickton was charged and convicted of killing 6 women, sex trade workers connected to Vancouver's downtown east side. Yesterday, charges against Pickton related to the murders of 20 other women were stayed, and as a result, the publication ban is now lifted. Information about the crimes and the police investigation are coming to light, information that was kept from the jury.
The public has to have access to as much of the information as is necessary for it to be able to scrutinize and debate.
So did you hear how many people Pickton killed? So that was a story about a similar man that owned a farm, a pig farm in Vancouver, and he was killing many women, and they claimed they were prostitutes. A few of them were indigenous women, and when they add up all of it, it was about 26, maybe all more than that. And he was killing the women, burying them on the farm, feeding them to his pigs. Employees, you see all body hang up in the shed or wherever on his farm, and when they go to police don't believe them, because police claim that they're crackheads, and once you're out here on drugs, they claim say you're not credible. So if the police them did act according to long time ago, they would have caught Pickton. But because Pickton was privileged, a white farmer, somebody who's supposed to be helping the community, because once you look at the farm, you say, okay, he's helping the community because he has pigs, and without the pig farmers, there's no pork, there's no pepperoni, yada, yada, yada. Okay? So the question remains again, do you know where your pork is coming from? And do you know what your farmer or farmers feed your pork that you eat on the table, your jerk pork, your bacon, and the list go on, guys. Because you have some people nowadays days ain't buy no pig food, eh? No pig feeding, they claim, allegedly. They're feeding their pork to pigs, allegedly. They're feeding they're feeding their pork, even pigs, yes. You have some of them that some of the pigs them died, they maybe end up feeding the pigs. Because back in the days, they said that that's how we allegedly had mad cow disease when the cows were eating the cows. Allegedly. Okay? So a lot of times you have farmers, they claim allegedly using dead pigs, feeding the pigs. And then in this case, they had human beings feeding to the pigs. And in this case, those 2 ladies that met their demise were stealing expired milk that the farmer who shot them and killed them was feeding their pigs the expired milk. And then we all know in the food industry, expired milk make cheese and the yogurt and the da and the do and the da dee 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 da. So when you really think about all of these things, you shout out, yuck. Do you want to eat these things? And if you think about all of these things, then you won't eat nothing. Think about it. So the question becomes, you know where your pork is coming from after this story? So we're going to be on this story like prime time. We're going to be on this story like everybody's business in everybody's business. The trial wraps up on Thursday, continuing Thursday. So Thursday we'll come and say, guys, this will happen in the trial today. And so on and so on and so forth and so on and so forth and so on and so on and so on. Okay? Moving forward until we get to the verdict. Okay, guys? So late as it is, tired as I am, I come from work. Remember, we don't work in a factory, right? So we have a little bit of strength, but more time we're tired kind of mentally because you deal with so much things for the day. But literally, guys, although I am tired, but I still had to come and say, guys, before I close my eyes and for the Lord to bless me till I wake up in another day and see another day, I said, guys, I had to come in and unpack the story, because as soon as I jump up in the morning, it's like, cut, go, go, go. Okay? So I had to come and give you guys your Tuesday, Wednesday content. Okay? Whether or not there's a million people over here, whether or not there's 20 people over here, or 30 people over here, you have 1 and 2 people, really look forward to the content. Believe you me or not. Believe you me or not. And not only that, you have some big bloggers on here have all 78,000 and all kind of things. And when you look, sometimes it's 28,000 people watch them. So you have bloggers that have nothing, like lots of viewers, fan base, and then it's less people watch them. And then you have other people, 1 and 2 people watch them. It doesn't really matter to me. I ain't looking for anything much, as in I say, yeah, I am going to do a channel and I'm going to come and talk about 1 and 2 things that you don't really see in the public. 1 and 2 things that dodge from the black community. 1 and 2 things that are hiding in the newspaper. Because majority of the time they say, if you want to hide things from the black community, just put it in ink, write it in paper. Most of us don't read. We don't like to read. We like when people tell us say, here say, them say, I say, he said, Albert, everybody say, but not what I say, what you say, most of the time, right? So a lot of times these stories, like I said, I will get them out of the newspaper, and then I will search it on the YouTube to see if I could find the video or the visual video part about it to back it up and say, hey guys, this is what occurred, this is what happened. Okay, guys? So if you never know, now you know. So there was a story already in the past called Picton feeding his pigs, the prostitute, and feeding the pigs, the innocent woman that he killed over the years. And then this story now, fast forward, 2024, South Africa, right now in trial, adjourned until Thursday. The the farm owner, that is white, South African, that's a title in the newspaper, that's a title on the videos. I didn't make it up. I'm not pushing any hate war, no hate crime, no discrimination. I give you how I get it. I sell it how I get it. I drop it how I see it. I maybe add 1 and 2 things in it, but when I do add 1 and 2 things in it, you're gonna hear me shout out allegedly. Okay, guys? Seriously. So there's no nothing about making up stuff. I give you how I get it. Okay, guys? So now you know we're gonna be in a different story, a different trial, like right here, right now. I spoke about our Queso trial a couple days ago where his father testified against him. And I said, guys, I'm going to come and unpack that whole kara story of these people that claim that they're tormented on God's land. How do you bring your father to a shootout and your father get caught up in the accessory of the fact of washing some kind of clothing or getting rid of some kind of things, and then your father come right here and say, yeah, courthouse, that's my son on the video shooting. That's my son that killed so-and-so. Yeah. When we found out that dad opened a big can of worms, he's an informant, allegedly. He used to run the street, allegedly. Badman McCoy, allegedly. So how the apple should fall far from the tree, allegedly. So all of those I was supposed to come in and pack, allegedly. But I couldn't. I'm walking. I'm busy. I'm tired. So I come and give you the important ones first. Like this one. Black women, 2 black women in South Africa went on a farm to go get expired milk that's supposed to feed to pigs. Farmers and 2 employees, trio, shot them dead. Boy. Kill them. Don't call the police and say, thief, trespassers, thief. Nothing of that sort. What me say? Nothing of that sort. What did I say? Nothing of that sort. So we shout out, if you're so innocent, why you never call the police? So we shout out in French, pourquoi? Why you never call the police? So he never called the police. Remember, they're trespassing. So say, for example, you claim the same rhetoric that Donald Trump came out and said that there's white genocide in South Africa. Remember, they've been singing from the other day that the white farmers are being killed by the black folks. In this whole content, if you rewind this whole content, when I'm gone to my bed or whenever time you get to rerun this content, you hear the facts in the content The majority of the folks that own the farm in a dominant black South Africa are the white folks. So the 1 and 2 people that died, they claim say is genocide against the white farmers, and the black folks are killing them. So that's their excuse. Now I guess as soon as you go on the farm, I'm gonna take up my rifle and I'm gonna shoot you down. So say these people were really trespassing, and say these people were really going to go steal expired milk. Just to show you how this man is so petty. Expired milk. What was the milk going to do? Feed the pigs. So if you can feed the pigs expired milk, then you feed the pigs on anything. So the man shoot all 3 of them. Because remember, guys, the victim, the 3rd person who ended up in the hospital for a while, was the husband of one of the women that died. And the other person who beside the woman that died was the neighbor. So husband, wife, neighbor went for galang for coffee for pea soup and end up go and steal milk. Milk they claim they went to go steal. You have to say stealing, because if you're going on someone's property trespassing, they're going to say it's stealing. But in the black community at times, they're going to say, okay, trespassing, they went to go take expired milk that never belonged to them but belonged to the pigs. Expired milk the man killed them for, bro. I swear to God, expired milk he killed them for. You all, crowd of people, gentlemen, boys and girls, women and men. Yeah. So I had to come and shout at 10:28 my time. So did you hear this story? Well, this story is out here baking like a baked bread. This story out here hot like the temperature. This story out here hot like the next party you're going. And this story hot and miserable like the mix-up that you're trending for. So me out here for shout. Have you heard the story where a white farmer and his 2 employees gunned down 2 black sisters and fed them to the pigs? Did you hear that story at all? No, the black race? Have you heard that there's problems going on in the African land, the motherland? Remember when we're ready, we're out here talking about I'm African so-and-so, and I'm African so-and-so, and I'm African so-and-so. And remember when Burna Boy was out here, everybody had their money for his concert. So if you're out here with the Burna Boy situation and him fade out now because he got a little bit of hype from the Caribbean folks, well, this is an African story. Okay? And we're supposed to be all brothers and sisters right there, that they claim our ancestors are from. Okay, guys? So I had to come in and pack that story, come shout that story like a broken record and say, Lord Mount Busway, did you hear? White farmer and his 2 employees shot 3 folks that was on the farm. Trespassing, going to go and take expiry dairy stuff. What was the dairy stuff? It was milk. Expired milk to feed the pigs. So I guess nowadays days, the pigs are more important than human being. Which a lot of places in many countries in the pandemic, they were flying in dogs, but not human beings. So a lot of places you go, animals are what? Important than human beings. And I'm just being a sarcastic jackass, to be honest. Seriously. Because I can't fathom that you kill someone, 2 persons at that, for expired milk that you maybe got for free. Expired milk that you're going to go feed to the pigs and go sell people your rotten meat. So that's why more time when you buy some of these meat and you see all of the slime and all of those kind of things, you're going to be like, I want to feed the pork, bro. So now you see why we always try to go to see where our meat is from. You have to know where you're getting your meat, man. You got to know where your food is coming from. Because people are doing all kind of nonsense to sell their meat, to make their meat the best and all of that, allegedly. So I had to come and shout that story. Quick and fast, moving on. Wrapping up this live quick and fast, yes? Let's move on to some other things, and then I'm going to say, guys, thank you for stopping by. Tired that I am, tired that you are, comfortable in your bed, while I'm up giving you the content. Big up your nice, clean self. Thank you for stopping by, to lend me your ear, to lend me your eyes. Although half of the time you can't see me, but I'm sure you can hear me. So thank you for your patience, guys. When I don't come around with a content or two. But when I come packing, I said, guys, how troubling and disturbing with this one. Anyways, guys, moving on, okay? Because I gotta go to sleep. I gotta rise tomorrow morning, yeah? Wednesday, but the greatest thing, payday is around the corner. Payday is around the corner. So we never shy from that because we know the end of the day, the end of the rainbow, somewhere down there, there's a pot of gold, yeah? So we're okay, all right? We're all right, utilizing our good, able self. Because enough people out here able and them now work. Enough people out here able, strong and fit up and not do a thing. You understand what I'm saying? So big up the good, nice, ambitious, and prosperous people who gonna tread like me in the morning. And big up the nice one, them who retire. And I'll go and simmer down on them nice little things that they put away in the past when they used to work and save. And big up the nice one, them out here. What them claim say people and mind them cause them nice and sweeter than Mama Greater Cakes and Drops, as my friend would shout. But nevertheless, guys, big up on a nice clean sir for stopping by. I really appreciate you, okay? We're going to go one more places here, maybe two more stop, and we're going to jump off of this like hopscotch. Okay, guys? So let's get to something fast and quick. Now, you know the other day that Boozy always out here talking a bag of crackers and a bag of nonsense. We know that the other day that Boozy, there was a jeweler came to go show Boozy some kind of jewelry. And they claim that the man was robbed and killed. And they claim that the feds is looking at Boozy. You know, more time when the feds have something on you, allegedly, more time they hold you for something else. Well, you guys know that Boozy was out here with some kind of gun charge for a while. And we realized that the feds, they kind of drop that and pick up that and kind of drop that and pick up that, right? Well, apparently, they went back and double back people, and they double back and right here, and the gun charge. Oh, no. What did I just say? Give me a second. So I'm going to mute you guys because commercial and I don't want a copyright strike. So give me a second.
That really dislikes me, bro. The first time I went to court, he looked at me and said, wipe me down. It's an old, gray, white man, bro. Like, I ain't even know he knew my...
Back it up for a second. Sorry, right here.
Said, wipe me down. It's an old, gray, white man, bro. Like, I ain't even know he knew my song. Prosecution at it. That really dislikes me, bro. The first time I went to court, he looked at me and said, wipe me down. It's an old, gray, white man, bro. Like, I ain't even know he knew my song. I couldn't do nothing but... I was like, bro, like, personal. Dudes I was in a tank with, I had two Mexicans. They saw it. They was off, bro. They was like, man, they was mad, bro. Like, he surprised everybody that day, bro. He was emotional.
Listen.
I'm glad that it's over. Thank God, thank my attorneys. Yeah. I'm ready to go cross seas. I'm gonna take a vacation. I know.
Going around that he's been recharged, and it sounds like the feds did decide to recharge him because the Ninth Circuit.
You hear what the feds did? Recharge him, guys. Remember, this case was supposed to throw it long time ago, you know, people. And the feds was playing with this charge for a while, people, until they come and do what? Recharge Boozy. But remember, I said to you guys, allegedly, the word on the street, allegedly, that the juror that came end up dead. Murder cases running around, sweeping around, right round there. So sometimes when the feds want to hold you with something else, them just give you one charge. So they basically came back, people, and recharge the man. Don't you hear the big bad people them talking? Recharge the man, and the man right now will be sentenced anytime soon. So when they hold, remember this is a federal gun charge. Who plays guilty on a federal gun charge? So he's going to go do some time. And while they do time, watch allegedly the murder charge don't come creeping. Allegedly. Don't mark my words so I get it, I sell it. I say allegedly. I'm not making up no mix up. The word on the street, go look for that. I don't have time for that. If I had time for that, I would drop it. But you see the next couple of days when I come around, Remember, I fact check you guys, because you guys know I always have some receipts somewhere. But nevertheless, people, let's unpack. So they recharge this man with the federal gun charge, and now he will be sentenced. He pled guilty, oh.
Had vacated the Duarte decision.
Right. So the Ninth Circuit, after the dismissal, vacated the Duarte decision. They're going to hear it en banc in September. So I am frankly just shocked by the fact that the government decided to move forward with charges now, just given what's been going on and developing in Second Circuit case law around the country, including in the Ninth Circuit. They recalled the Duarte decision. They depublished it so that the entire Ninth Circuit, the court as a whole, can re-review it. I am not expecting a different decision. Circuits are in alignment with what the Ninth Circuit found, and I believe that ultimately the Supreme Court would be or will be in alignment when the issue comes before them, probably in the next year or so.
My God, can Boozy catch a break? Da dee da 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 da. Boozy Badass accept plea deal years after. He think the gun case was over. Not over, bro. They recharges him with the gun charge. So you hear what that lady say? So look up, black men. If you had couple charges that you think is done, this is a new law that they put almost in Baton Rouge and many places, that they can recharge your ass with the federal charge. Once it's federal, seems like it has no expiry date on it now. Almost like a rape charge. Okay, guys, I'm only coming with my big mouth to come and shout to let you know, because more time, people just talk about the artists, them, what's happening here and there, but not talking about more time, the real deal. I don't know. These are important factors. If there's new law in courthouse that always falls at our foot in the black community, then somebody got to shout it out, because when the law come and it catch you up, you can't say you never know, and you never know. And I did come and tell ya. Same like how I beat you guys over and over with the Diddy trial, and I said, guys, if this is the man's White Slave Act to the Mann Act to the RICO Act, and this law was really destined to the black boxer to keep black men from the white ladies, then none of that sort. He won't be getting So said, so done. Remember, we talk a lot, but we know the history of many of these laws. And I know we talk a lot. We don't know everything, but we know some things. And remember, knowledge is power. Knowledge the key, boy. Yeah. You understand? So more time we gotta know our facts, what's happening, like right now, guys. Okay? So I had to come and unpack that from that to that to that. Okay, guys? From there, guys, I want to go somewhere else more sinister. And I'm like, lo, do, da, ba, do. Like, wow. Like, wow. Remember, there was days ago, Boozy bus shot. Come on. It was days ago, Boozy bus shot at Queso father. Remember the trial I've been talking about, Queso dad snitching on his son? Boozy beat him straight. And Boozy never worry about his business, knowing that the feds gonna charge him and he think the gun trial was over. So now you see, that's why I keep on telling you. People out here are staying at people's head rent-free. People out here worry about people's business, but while their business is spoiling. Now you can worry about Queso dad who did a deal. He's not going to no jail. He got a deal. But you pled guilty and I go get sentenced anytime and federal gun charge. So who should be minding their business? Seriously. These are the things that I'm talking about. So if you have any business, fix up your business before you know everybody else's business. Please and thank you. Okay, guys? Because remember, the prison system don't make for dog. And many things out here that are not made in the public is made in jail. So knock yourself out. And in prison. Because jail is just a holding place until you get sentenced, see you bye. Okay? So we have to say prison, correct terms. And not only that, some of yous won't do 2 years in college, 4 years in college, 4 years in college, university, 4 years, and all of these kind of things. But you know what, though? Life imprisonment. Why chalk someone senselessly, carelessly? So all that got Black Nation and the Black race? A lot of us out here will go to prison to do prison time, but we won't do any time in school, college, or trade. Let me shout and ask and know why. Is there something wrong with the Black race? Is there something wrong with us, guys? Because remember, I am Black. Okay? So I gotta shout it out and I gotta say the black race. Cause more time we talk about other race, but we're talking about ourselves. A lot of us. Then you know the next thing again? A lot of us won't have the money to send our children to college or universities, but we find money for bailman, find money for the lawyer, and we find all the money to get them out of jail. Not only that, again in the black community, what else in the black community? What else in the black community? What else in the black community, guys? So I had to come out and shout. So therefore, guys, Boozy is in hot water. Feds recharge him and boy gonna go to prison anytime soon. Okay, guys, I'm not clouting. I'm just saying, why would Boozy accept a plea deal like that, knowing that the government was gonna come back with that gun charge? He never get no good representation. The lawyer wasn't there. She was walking with her Louis Vuitton bag down again, call with her heels. Like, what one lawyer? Like, what's happening? Seriously. So most of the time, these black men are doing deals like McChicken deals and all of these deals and not reading the fine print like Keefe D. Remember Keefe D, there was a fine print? Don't come out here, come run your big mouth. Shut your big mouth. Don't talk in many clauses. I'm just saying, like, I'm just being a jackass. But you know, there was fine print, and the fine print said basically, don't come out to come open up your mouth because they will charge you. And then go and what that boy named, that white guy who I was interviewing every black people every time they go on his podcast, they made a dead in a trouble or something. What that guy named? Vlad allegedly, Vlad TV allegedly. So you know, and then him go on Vlad, and him go there, and him go here, and him chat more than me. And then the Fed say, come here, Keefe D. We hear you've been talking. Come here, boy. And charge him with the murder. Remember, he wasn't really the one who fired a gunshot. You know, it wasn't nothing. And he went and do all of those interviews, allegedly, and carry on. I know they say, hey, bud, we got to charge you with Tupac murder. After that story, bust were like Ninja Kite. Then we had the Diddy trial. I Diddy shoot him. I Diddy paid the money. Because remember, Keefe Diddy come and say Diddy was supposed to give somebody the money to give him. And he never got the money. And then the bodyguard come and say, come some kind of story. And all of these stories. And then they creep up Diddy. And like, Diddy, you're going down for racketeering, this, that. In the time when Diddy was saying, oh, black race, oh, the black culture, don't vote for Trump, don't vote for these people, vote for this, vote for that. Until they nail him and say, okay, we're going to make you spend some money, we're going to have you out here like a dog, lock you up in jail, no bail until sentencing. You got to be careful out here now. You got to pick your battles, they claim, as the black folks. They say when it comes to the black folks nowadays days, a lot of times they're not going to leave any generational wealth. The only person who will be getting the generational wealth will be the system and the lawyers. That's all they say out here, people, allegedly. Don't mix me, please. I'm just a messenger. Okay? So quick and fast. Moving on. Now, Donald Trump, remember we said and they've been whispered out here that the reason why they locked up Diddy was not really about the racism that happened with the liquor company from the UK. And what was the story? The D'Angelo, I can't even bother to say the big name of the liquor. Kiss me teeth and pass. You guys know what drink I'm talking about. And if you go hide right there, black folks are still drinking that drink and never see the stands why Diddy was fighting. Did he say, oh, that the white company, oh, allegedly, oh, had his liquor, was only shundering to the black folks. Hey, you Negroes. Hey, you Negroes. Allegedly, don't mix me. I'm just showing this as a joke, people. A sense of humor. Kiki, not funny. Okay, whatever. Call me an asshole. Okay, yeah. But nevertheless, people, and then did he claim that they were pushing it out to the wider, broader audience for him soon. Well, that, you racist, you this, you Ray, you have the rope on my neck, you claim say pull up my shoes as a bootstrap, be a Negro, have businesses. But when I get over here, you're stifling me, brother. What's going on? So we shout out, brother, ew. And he end up in court. Are you kidding me? And then he get a big ass criminal charge. And the people them said it wasn't the liquor company story. It was because he was out here saying, black folks, I gotta start a party and it's gonna call the black this and the black that. Same like when Kanye West ready to rant and carry on and end up going to the trial, go show up himself after everybody else stay away from the trial. All of these big celebs stay away from the trial. And when we go hide people, oh, they slept Kanye West. with a sex and kidnapping charge, and I dropped it on my page, I think a week ago. So nowadays days, when you talk up out here, people, more time you're shunder. More time when you talk up out here, people, more time on the YouTube, your videos are not shown out. There's no notification goes out. And a lot of time when you talk out here, they claim so you get locked up. So they said the reason why Diddy got locked up is because he was out here trying to use his political views and the black folks and tell the black folks this and that, and they never want him out here because they claim say he was too rich to pursue the black community of another cent or two. Nevertheless, Donald Trump said the reason why he cannot pardon Diddy, come now, is because of that. So the word on the street, they weren't lying at all. So Donald Trump cannot pardon Diddy. Let's get into that part quick and fast. Hear this part, guys. 2 minutes of your time. Okay? 1 second. Radar.
It makes it more difficult to do.
Donald Trump is sharing his honest thoughts about pardoning Sean Diddy Combs. 2 months after saying he would, quote, look into the facts, when asked about pardoning his former friend Combs, who has since been found guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution, but acquitted on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, President Trump now clarifies his comments during an interview with Newsmax on August 1st.
Listen.
Sean Diddy Combs. Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Listen.
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, you know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great. And seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
And it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment.
So how much thing did Donald Trump say about a lot of people? Very hurt and vile. So you hear what he said when he was running for office? Diddy had a lot to say. Diddy had a lot to say about lots of these politicians. And maybe they claim allegedly that's why he ended up getting charged, because they didn't want him to come out here, no political party about no black nothing and black this, right? Let's continue.
Right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know. It's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
See?
More likely a no for Combs.
Listen.
Okay. Questions about a potential pardon for Combs came just days after the president.
So he wouldn't pardon Combs, but he pardoned these two rich fraudsters and let them out of jail. So when the white collar crime could out here still shining with their white teeth and all of this, and what did this man come out and say when he was in jail? He got many favors while the black people them struggle and couldn't get any. So they know the racism, know that it's out here full force, but who to come out here to say? Okay, guys, so I had to shed that light. So when people were out here saying the reason why Diddy this and blah, 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 because of political views and blah, 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 possible, because hear what Donald Trump said. He said some nasty stuff about a lot of those folks, because he claims, say, the black folks were going to be railroaded in America. So said, so done, they claim, allegedly. Moving on, guys, quick and fast. Now, we want to talk about a disturbing situation what happened now in Florida, where a teen decided, where a teen decided to gun down his parents. And we're going to wrap up this live quick and fast and say thank you for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it, okay? So give me a second. So in this case, guys, this teen ended up killing his mom and dad, and then end up calling 911 dispatcher and asked the dispatcher to pray for him. So if you never know this case, breaking news, Florida teens praised while admitting to shooting his parents while they were sleeping in bed. Seemed like there was some kind of dispute with the teen and his parents. Teen was only 14 years old and ended up killing his parents. So what was I shouting the other day when Queso dad testified against him? I said it's fathers against parents against their children and children against their parents. And nowadays days, if children are not died by the hands of their parents, well, the parents are died by the hands of their children. Didn't I tell you that nowadays days, it's almost like we're living in the end days, but we're not sure. So let's unpack the story and wrap up this live. Thank you for stopping by.
Stands accused of killing his parents. 14-year-old Trevor Lee facing 2 counts of second-degree murder, and for the first time tonight, we're hearing his voice in the newly released 911 dispatch recording. I want to warn you, hearing the call may be disturbing.
You pray?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, I'll listen to you. Well, I was going to ask if you could pray for me, ma'am. But now I'll definitely be praying for you, son.
Investigators say Lee was outside a church when he dialed 911 and reported himself. He stayed on the phone until deputies got to his location and took him into custody.
News4Jax reporter Eric Albanese here in studio with us with more on this new information he obtained in this case. Eric?
Yeah, we were able to acquire a lot more information than what we had yesterday when we first reported this story. Now, we now know where in the house the parents were killed, the extent of their fatal injuries. We also found out that the 14-year-old called his aunt in California before he called 911 to turn himself in. Just one day after 44-year-old David Lee and 45-year-old Brandy Smith were found shot to death inside their Silver Oak subdivision home in Middleburg, News4Jax has learned the couple was in their bed when they were shot multiple times. Both were pronounced deceased when paramedics arrived. Investigators identified the killer as the couple's son, 14-year-old Trevor Lee. After the parents were murdered, Lee called his aunt in California. She then called Clay County 911 dispatch. What her nephew told her was redacted from the 911 recording.
They're in your house, please. Please. Send help, immediately, ambulance, whatever, immediately.
The teen traveled to a nearby church parking lot and called 911. He stayed on the line until deputies arrived to take him into custody.
I'm by the road, threw my backpack away from me. I'm stripped, I'm waiting for police. What do you mean you're stripped? I got nothing in my pocket. I emptied my pockets and everything. There's nothing in my pockets.
While most of his conversation with the dispatcher was redacted, we hear him ask the dispatcher to pray for him.
Can you pray?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, I'll listen to you. Well, I was going to ask if you could pray for me. Right now, I'll definitely be.
They said in the past, couple calls were made to 911. They claim say either this child has some kind of mental breakdown and all kind of story, but is that the excuse to kill your parents? 14 years old, kill his parents while they were in bed, went to church, called 911, told the dispatcher, can you pray for me? Oh, Father God, let me go to my bed and pray. Anyways, guys, I thank you for stopping by. It's a blessing as always, and it's a pleasure as always for you guys to stop by to watch the content. Okay, guys? Peace and love until I roll around with another content or two. Bye.